Heyo, Hudson here with Planet 4 Gaming. I'm back after a prolonged hiatus, I guess you could say, and I'm flying the Yak-9P. Overall, this is not one of my favorite planes, but it's kind of rewarding to fly when you get the hang of it. Compared to other Russian planes, I definitely prefer the LA line. Pretty much every fighter in the LA line tier 4 over this. And against enemy planes, I'd say the Mustang and Focke-Wulf can be a pretty even match. The toughest planes to take on are definitely the Spitfires for me, because of their good turn time and climb rate. But how's this plane overall? Its turn time is not great, but at high speeds it's better than most, I'd say. Its roll rate is fairly average. Dive speed is not great, which is kind of a thing for the Russians in Tier 4. You can get up to about 730 before you start losing control. One of the best things about this plane, though, that sets it apart from the other Russians is that at high altitude it doesn't really have a drastic decrease in performance. So you can use it as a low altitude or high altitude fighter, and that I would say is a really big thing about it. And finally, it has a very nice customizable armament. You can get the 320s to start out, then you'll unlock the 23 and the center cannon, and finally the 37, which is what I use. It's very good. Takes a long time to unlock though, so you'll have to work at it for a while if you want the 37. Overall though, if you're starting out Tier 4 as the Russians, I would go through the LA line before the Yak line. First of all, obviously this plane takes a while to master. The LA-7s and even the LA-9 you can get the hang of pretty quick. The LA-7s perform very similar to the LA-5FN, so it's not really something new to get used to. And also, with the LA line, you'll work your way towards the LA-15, while with this, you get to work your way towards the Yak-15s. Oh boy. So yeah, overall, I would say just start out with the LA-7s, and if you've played them a lot and you want to try something new, give this plane a shot. It's pretty fun. So anyway, I'm in a full game here. That Focke-Wulf you can see dove at me. I dodged him and he just dove straight down. Had he stayed up here and tried to dogfight with me, I am very confident I could have taken him out. I'll show you a quick clip of how I would have done that. Okay, so here I am at 4,000 meters in a separate game, obviously. The enemy team has a lot of Focke-Wulfs, and I'm trying to pick out one to get in a dogfight with. So I'm trying to get one to either get on my tail, or I'm trying to get on another guy's tail and finish him off real quick. So there's two on me. One zooms right past. He didn't even try to dive on me, which is strange. The second one dives in, but he goes really slow, like he's trying to dogfight, which is a really dumb thing of him to do. So I just loop over in an attempt to get behind him. He does the same thing, and all I have to do is keep up that same thing, stay out of the way of his guns, and get him in front of my guns. So after doing enough loops like this, I'll be able to set up a shot. So there he is. He turns hard to the left, and that's my chance. Bring the 37 right in front of him. Boom. Pilot kill. I've dismembered him. So that's how you'll do it. But anyway, for now, I'm just going to stay up high altitude and follow him. I don't follow him in a dive because the Focke-Wulf has a very high dive speed, much higher than the Yak-9P. And I was covering my LA-9 down there, but it looks like he fucked up. The Focke-Wulf got on his tail, so I'm going to dive in and see if I can take him out. Now, this is the perfect setup right there. Yeah, fucked him up big time, took his wing right off. It doesn't get any better than that. That is the perfect way to implement this plane. Just dive in, get your shots off, hopefully you've taken him out with that big cannon, and then just pull right back up and try to gain as much altitude as you can. One thing you have to know when going into a dive, though, is this plane builds up speed in a dive very quick, and it's easy to tear off the wings if you don't know what you're doing. So once you reach around 600, you're going to want to throttle down and start pulling up to manage your speed. And once you've gotten it, you're good. It just takes some getting used to. So the LA-9 took out the other Focke-Wulf on the team, and it looks like that 109 just took out my LA-9. So while I have one other fighter on the team, he's going after bots like a complete retard, so this is really a one-on-one fight. Me and the 109. So I'm at about his altitude, and I'm just going to try to chase him down. The 109 cannot... It depends on which model. The G6 can turn very well. The G10 cannot turn very well. So kind of depends on what I'm going up against, whether I'm going to be able to turn fight with him. But it looks like he's going into a head-to-head. I'm not gonna do that. I don't know what he's armed with. It could be one little 20mm cannon. It could be two 30s in the wings. I don't really know. From what it sounded like, though, it was just a 20mm. So maybe if he goes into another head-to-head, I'll try to take him. But what I'm gonna try to do is try to get him into a dogfight, or to get him to dive out like that Focke-Wulf did. And if he does dive out, what I'll do is just keep my altitude, because I also won't be able to dive after a 109 in this plane. So, now it's a bit of a waiting game. He is flying a G10, so I can outmaneuver him. Got a better roll rate and turn time. I can also keep my speed better in the turns. The 109s lose speed really quick. So it looks like he's diving, but watch what he does here. It's kind of interesting. He's diving under me, and I'm turning around to follow him, but not really dive in, just to stay above him. And watch this. He pulls straight up, and tries to fly right at me. I guess he was trying to shoot me right in the belly, but I dodged it. That's interesting. I've never really seen anyone try to do that shit before. Kind of dumb, because he lost a lot of speed. And now he's just diving back down, diving out. And I'm just going to get after him. And because he's diving out, I'm just going to level out. As the Germans, you can, for the most part, outdive everything, as far as I know. Maybe the Mustang can dive at a similar speed, but it over-Gs its wings fairly easily. So that can be a very effective tactic when you're playing in the 109s and the 190s, but you have to have a plan of what you're going to do after, because eventually you'll lose your speed, and now if you do like what I've done, you're at high altitude and now you're going a fairly similar speed, I can just dive in and catch right up, which is what I'm doing now. And it looks like he's going after the Tu-2. I think he's decided he's not going to want to dogfight me, and he's just trying to pick up a bomber kill before he gets shot down. Let's see if we can prevent that. There we go. He took a few hits, but 37s eventually did their job, tore his wing off, and he's history. So now it's just a simple matter of taking out the 2 remaining bots, cleaning up. So that was a smaller game. I think it was only 5 or 6 planes per team. And that can either help you or hurt you. It just basically depends on how many bombers you have on your team and how good the fighters are. Luckily, I didn't get double-teamed at all. When you're double-teamed in the Yak-9, it can often be very difficult to maneuver your way out of that. But I just used my plane's few strengths. It's less well-rounded than most of the Tier 4 Russians, like the LAs, which is what I liked about them. But you can use it to its strengths, and it can be effective. There goes the Stuka. So, that'll give you an idea of how to fight off the Germans. Like I said, the toughest plane for me is the Spitfire. I don't think I've shot down a Spitfire in this plane. Fuck. Oh, well. Yeah, I don't really know how to tell you how to go against a Spitfire. You would want to, if you're at a lower altitude, you're pretty much fucked. They can dive about the same as the Yak. The Griffin engine ones are very fast. They're well armed. Yeah, the Spitfire is a tough thing to go up against in this plane. Oh well. There goes the HE-111. But watch what happens here. See, I didn't get the kill. I've shot off his whole tail section, and this is one of the things in the latest patch that pisses me the fuck off. He's going down. Oh, the game's over. So I didn't get that kill. I mean, it's just a bot, so I don't care that much. But imagine if it was an actual player. I took his whole wing off or whatever, and he's spiraling down at 3,000 meters, and he doesn't reach the ground and crash before the game's over. What if that was my only kill on a player? Then it's not a kill, is it? Oh well. Hopefully Gaijin will fix that soon. I don't really anticipate that based on their performance in this area, but we can all hope, can't we? As you can see, I was researching the LA-15. I guess I'm about 2/3 to 3/4 of the way there. It's a slow process, especially when I was using this Tier 4 plane. I'll try to fly out my Yak-15 and get some more XP or RP to unlock that thing. And maybe I'll do a video on it. I'm also fairly close to the Japanese Sabre, so hopefully I'll have 2 decent jets to fly out, and yeah, I guess that'll be a future video. Sorry for being gone so long, by the way. I was getting pretty lazy there, and my internet went out a few times. I had to get it fixed, but hopefully I'll be uploading more regularly. I know there's at least a few people that watch my videos for some reason. So, I guess that's it. Thanks for watching, and get the fuck out of here.